Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel and I've got great news. Fenix have just released V2 of their A320 simulation and this adds a lot of new things and fixes. So, before we start going over everything, I know that a lot of people tune out after the first 30 seconds, so just about bear with me for a second for some important information for you before you start to update. So, over the evening of the release, there have been some reports from people who had black displays and stuff like that, and who had some horrible performance. Now, there's quick fixes available for those. If you download it on the evening of the release, then you might just about quickly want to re-download the latest version, and that is going to fix the thing with the black displays. Now, if you've got horrible performance or very high CPU load, a quick reboot of your computer has shown to fix the problem most of the time. So just something I want to put straight into the beginning, because I know that a lot of people just stop watching after a certain while. So let's have a look into what is actually in the update then. This is block 1 of the Fenix V2 updates, and block 1 features the new fly-by-wire, so new flight computers and stuff like that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on. A new flight model, new displays, new VNAV system and code side performance optimization. Now, talking about code side performance optimization, indeed there is a visible increase in frame rates. So on my system, and keep in mind I'm running a rather high-end system here with an RTX 4090 with frame rate generation and stuff like that on. So naturally, on my system the expected change isn't that high, however there is quite a bit of change. In that, in the very same situation between the Fenix version 1 and the Fenix version 2, I'm seeing approximately 5 frames per second more in the very same situation. Taking into account that all of this is just performance and code side optimization, that is actually quite an incredible result. Now, there are a lot of reports from people who don't have as high-end systems, who report that they have seen a lot better improvement even than I did. Alright, so, in the update, performance is as good as it has ever been, and there are quite some changes to the flight dynamics. You can see me doing a couple of rolls and stuff like that, and indeed I'm just using very small side stick input. Let's just about move to the virtual cockpit over here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going on over here. Okay, so let me show you the side stick and PFD both in one, so that you can get a little bit better of an idea. This, by the way, is the new displays as well. You will notice they do look quite a bit different, but this is actually, as Fenix themselves call it, pixel by pixel accuracy. So, indeed, I don't notice much of a difference compared to what I'm used to from the A330. So, let's have a look now into some of the differences in flight model. I'll do a more comprehensive video on that later on, but for now, just a very quick thing to show you. Tiny side stick input, and you can see the airplane reacting to that already. Previously, I did notice that I needed quite a bit more of an input for the airplane to react, so it is now possible to do quite some more subtle inputs there and smaller changes, which is something that I do really appreciate. Let's also take a moment to have a quick look into the new displays. This is what they look like. Let's go really close up here. So, you can still count the pixels. And overall, this is what the new displays look like. PFD-wise, it's very hard to put in words. On the previous version, things just weren't aligned as correctly. So if you took a photo of the real one and overlaid it with the PFD, then you could see like, hey, things were out of phase. Now that's fixed. And this is really good, I have to say. This is really good. Same for the nav display, for the eCam. Now, what I do find a little bit strange is the line down here below the cabin pressure, below the system. That line could be a little bit brighter, because it's barely visible at all. Like, if we have a look at it from our standard point of view, then you see, you basically can't see it. But as Fenix themselves have said in the bottom of the update, the new version still is, well, quite a bit in development. Previously, we flew on a version that was stable for 9-month counting, so now obviously changes are in progress, and those changes do have to be taken into account. So, let's continue with the update itself. It is recommended to set a zero sensitivity curve on your flight controls, because that is what the new system has been built upon. Fenix also recommends to set the up and down drafts in the turbulence settings down. So basically, when you go to the turbulence settings, don't use the realistic mode, because it has shown to show up and down drafts introduced of like 1,800 feet a minute, and that is obviously far, far, far too much. So they do recommend to use a lower setting. Personally, the setting just below realistic does seem to work quite well for me, even though on occasion that still is a little bit strong. Overall, there are about 1,000 updates, or 1,000 changes in this update, some smaller and some bigger ones. Now let's quickly talk about what the update does not do then, because overall, I'm sure that many of you will remember that a lot more stuff has been promised and is actually still in development. So, what is not released yet is the Block 2 of the Fenix V2 updates, and that's going to include a new visual model, inside and out, IAE engines, the external engine model, and the new electronic flight bag. So that's just a little bit of stuff there that has not yet been included, so keep in mind this is Block 1 of the update that's just come out. Alright then, final thing for you. There is a changelog on the Fenix website in the blog, which I can absolutely recommend you to have a look at. It is far too much to go over everything, but here's just a little look into some of the stuff that's new, and just to give you an impression of how big the changelog actually is. I'm going to link the article in the video description below, so do have a look into it, and do read through the changes to get an idea. Personally, I'm going to do a couple of full flights now to see what things are like, and then I'm going to record a full flight for you, because with changelogs as big as this, there is really no sense in checking everything, but there's a lot more sense in just checking, you know, the overall feeling and behavior of the aircraft. Now that's what I'm about to do. You can be sure to get that video up very shortly, and I'll also do a separate one on how the Fenix flies now. I'm sure that many of you will be looking forward to that as well. And in the meantime, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Go and grab the latest update, and make sure that you actually get the latest update, and not the one from the evening of the release. So the one you should get is version 1.5.1.200 or later, in case something is released after I'm recording this video. The version 151.198 is the one that you should miss out on, and just go directly to the next one, because it is going to fix the black displays and high CPU usage bug affecting some users' performance. Alright, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'm looking forward to see you guys in the new Fenix in the virtual skies very soon. In the meantime, thank you for your attention, and I see you all again on the next one.